We welcome you to Sports Talk. I'm Ted Emrich. Hope you and yours had a very happy Thanksgiving. And after all that turkey, one thing you probably weren't all that fired up to do was run. Well, today we look back at the girls' cross-country season in McKinney ISD. All three schools put together fine seasons. One McKinney Lionette in particular, Megan Shea, finished out her career with 3 straight fantastic seasons. And Coach Clay Davis is here to tell you what makes her so special. Boyd won a district championship in Laura Cahey's first year as head coach, and Miller Loudermilk is laying the foundation for a great run at North. Also coming up, the Dennis Baker State Farm Scholar Athlete of the Week. This is Sports Talk. McKinney Lionettes enjoyed another memorable year under head coach Clay Davis, 2nd at the district meet as a team, 7th at the 4A Region 2 meet as Clay joins us now. And Clay, did you imagine this kind of season going into the year?
Yes, we worked, of course, in cross country you start working back in the summer. The kids had set a goal. Their sophomore year they made it to the state meet, so their goal last year was kind of a disappointing year for them, finishing 6th at the regional meet. We wanted to get back, and they worked hard to get there. So our goals were lofty, as well as those other teams that beat us that had the same goals. So yes, we had high expectations.
Megan Shea certainly embraces all of those expectations. She has been piling up the accolades throughout her career at McKinney. 3 years first team All-State, 3 years first team All-District. This year, a 2nd place finish at district, 3rd at the regional, 7th at state. What impresses you the most about Megan?
I don't know that I can name one. She's a really special kid. Obviously you mentioned her academic accolades, and she's such an intelligent kid, and she's probably one of the most driven athletes that I've ever worked with, and internally she sets high goals, and she does everything in her power to reach those goals. Of course, it's contagious. I heard the kids kind of carry over that a little bit too, but you put those things with just that unbelievable gift that she has for running, and you get Megan out of it, But she's such a delightful kid to be around too, and to coach. I've had a lot of fun as a coach being around not just her, but since you mentioned her, yeah, she's a coach's dream. A lot of coaches coach for their whole career and don't get a kid like Megan, so I've been very fortunate.
Tori Newton is another senior who has left her imprint on this program, a strong number 2 runner for this team. What did you like most about Tori's season?
Tori decided midway through her junior year that she didn't like the season she had as a junior, and that she wanted to do everything in her power going out as a senior. And she did everything in her power to she quit running. She started running track for me in the spring, which she'd never done her freshman and sophomore year. Started putting the mileage in. She and Megan, ran a lot together, and she just did everything within her power to put herself in a position to run the best she possibly could her senior year. Overcame some injuries. Just her persistence and dedication to the sport this year was unbelievable. And again, another kid that's ranked in the top 5 or so in her class. She's just another one of those kids that she's a very special kid too.
And I know how much you're going to miss Megan and Tori and the rest of that senior class. You say they've changed the perception of this sport at McKinney.
Well, they did. They came in as freshmen, and it's never been just about them. They would be the first ones to know that, to notice that. They didn't want anybody to be just about them, but they honestly, they have changed it because of the fact that they came in and we were a average program, hardworking kids, good kids, couldn't ask for better kids. But when they came in with the talent that they brought with them, and there was 5 of them as they came in as freshmen, they immediately on the scene, they all looked like they were about 11. They were all tiny, and still are, but they came in and they're immediately, through their performances, we gained a lot of notoriety because of that. And when you have success, people want to get on board with that. Our numbers went from 13 to 30 in 2 years. And now we keep 30 to 34 kids out every year, and it's in large part because of those kids in the family type atmosphere that they, as well bring as well. So, yeah, they've done a lot for the program, but they would be the first ones to tell you that that they're just part of the program. It's not about them; they're just part of the program.
And this isn't a group that performs just on the course. You've touched on it. They perform in the classroom so well. This is remarkable. 6 seniors, first team academic All-State.
Yes.
6 seniors in the top 24 of their class. Mm-hmm. Some coaches have to get on their kids to take care of their studies, take care of their business, and you don't have to worry about that at all.
No, grade checks were pretty easy for me. I do that just because I've got to do it, but we don't worry about grades with them too much at all because they're, unbelievable academic. And I mean, they get it. They got it as freshmen when they came on the campus. They knew what they needed to do to be successful. They're hardworking kids. They came from great families. Their parents I mean, it's a great situation to be in as being a coach with these kids. And not just these kids, but the ones that are coming behind them now, that are coming into filling their shoes next year. They've set a legacy for the kids that are behind them to follow. So I think their biggest legacy was just the work that they put in, the amount of time they put in, and not their talent, but the academics and things like that. Because we got kids behind them that are following in their footsteps.
Yeah, you really like who you have coming back. 4 freshmen and 1 sophomore on the varsity team this season. Who really excites you going forward?
I've got a number of kids. I had Sarah Morris was my number 3 all year long. Her older sister Maggie Morris was a sophomore this year and has been in the top 4, with the exception of a couple meets where she was, she was kind of feeling under the weather. Those 2 were consistent top 4 performers for me all year long. And then I have a group of freshmen: Kelly Perez, Beatrice Gupton, Evelyn Woodruff. I've got some kids like Jackie Solis who stepped up and really performed well. Morgan Clippert Rowe, who really ran well at the end of the year, who ran well for us last year, that I'm expecting to run well for us next year. So I've got 9 to 10 kids that are coming back that have run right around 13 flat or better. So it's going to be a lot of competition for that top 7, and for next year. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am. I'm really looking forward to the group I've got coming back. They have a lot of personality as a group too, so it'll be a lot of fun to coach them.
I'm sure overall as a program you are looking to take that next step, advancing not only to regionals but to build toward the point where you can advance to the state meet. What's the key in doing that as you go forward with this group? Well,
I think that obviously when you lose Megan and you lose Tori, you lose a lead runner, which is important in cross country to have that lead person to be way out there in front, because at the regional meet when you can score 1 or 2 or 3 points, it's like counting 4. But the other thing is that I had Tori was a good number 1 for most teams. She would run with most number 1s. Of course, our region, I think, from top to bottom, is one of the toughest regions in the state. It's got the highest participation probably in the state. It's got perennial powerhouses like Highland Park, Frisco, and then programs like Forney and so forth that are there every year. So we have our work cut out for us. But I think what you do is, you work hard and give yourself a chance to get to that regional meet every year, and then it takes a couple of those kids to run real well. And of course, your 4 and 5 is just as important as your 1 and 2. So I think next year we're just going to have to run as a pack a lot closer together, and the kids know that. So they're going to put the work in. We'll be back there again next year. It's just going to, you get to the regional meet enough years, and you're going to get to the state meet one of those years. So our program's to that point now. We've made it 4 years in a row. So, we expect to get there again.
Cross country naturally rolls into the spring track season. Mm-hmm. What do you think Megan Shea will accomplish here in her final go-around in some of those long-distance events? Well,
I've talked with Megan a little bit, and it's kind of right now it's just preliminary. But we've talked about her goal this year. I know is the mile has always been her favorite event, and she desperately wants to win the state championship in the mile. She lost last year by 1 stride, and she was the only athlete at the state meet that was on the podium, the top 3 finishers in the mile and the 2 mile. But I think this year that she's going to really, she ran the 2-mile last year. She really wanted to work on her 2-mile, and she did. She knocked her best time down 42 seconds, 47 seconds off of her PR. And it gave her a chance to run collegiately, which she's going to get a chance to choose to do. And I think this year she wants to have fun, and she wants to, concentrate a little bit more on the 800 and the mile instead of the mile and 2-mile. But as we get closer, we'll make that decision for sure. So more than anything else, I want her to have a good senior year. I want her to have fun and enjoy the moment, not get too far ahead or thinking about next year or what's coming up or anything like that. Just enjoy it. So we look to be down to the state meet again in 1 or 2 events, and hopefully this time we get the gold instead of the silver or bronze.
Stellar career, no doubt about it. High school career for Megan. What's next for her?
She's got opportunities right now. She's had multiple. I think I need another mailbox at school for her. But she's had many opportunities, and she's narrowed it down, I think, to 3 schools. And she's going to make her decision from those 3 schools, in February, the first week in February, and sign. So that'll be good for her to get that out of the way. I know right now that all athletes in high school, not just speaking for Megan, but I know all athletes have got to be getting kind of tired of the process now and
Sure.
wanting to try to end that process. So she's going through those stages, and she'll make the announcement when the time's right. Right now I don't know for sure which way she's leaning or what's going on. She's still got a couple visits to make. So after that, she'll make her decision, and she's going to have the options she have are great. She's going to be at a great school, a great program. So.
No doubt. Clay, we appreciate the time. Best of luck going forward.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. Clay Davis, head coach of McKinney Girls Cross Country. Thanks to Megan, Tori, the rest of that senior class, they have turned into an area of power. Everything looking up for the Lionettes and Coach Clay Davis.